Welcome to this week's Kindy Science. Lesson 9, the skin. We're getting to the end of the human body, so we're going to be doing a little bit of revision. I'll be talking a little bit about the skin. And because the skin reacts in the sun, and it's a bit hard to do experiments with skin, we're going to do some experiments in the sun with some beads and some sun-sensitive paper. So, let's get to it.
Revision time.
Over the last few weeks, we've learned a lot about the human body. We've learned about the heart and how it's made of two pumps, one pumping to all over the body and one pumping to the lungs. We've also learned about the kidneys and the liver, and how the kidneys and the liver are the two organs that are responsible for filtering our blood and keeping it clean. Our stomach is the organ that mushes all the food up. Our lungs are the organ that keeps oxygen and carbon dioxide flowing in and out of our body. The brain is how we think. It tells every part of our body what it needs to do to stay alive. And then finally, we have the small and large intestine, where all the nutrients get absorbed into our blood. We've covered a lot. We've talked about the brain, lungs, stomach, intestine, heart, kidney, and liver. Now, the question: what is the main job of the kidneys and the liver? The job of the kidneys and the liver is to filter the blood and keep it clean. The skin. Did you know that the skin is the body's biggest organ? We often say that the liver is the body's biggest internal organ because it's on the inside, but the skin is an organ and very important. Without skin, people's muscles, bones, and organs would be all hanging out all over the place. Skin holds everything together. It protects our bodies. It helps keep our bodies at just the right temperature, and it allows us to have a sense of touch. You can't see anything happening. Your skin is hard at work growing new skin. The skin you see is already dead, and when you brush your arms, you are brushing off thousands of skin cells into the air. Bye-bye skin cells. Your skin makes a substance called melanin. Melanin gives skin its colour. The darker your skin is, the more melanin you have. When you go out into the sun, these cells make extra melanin to protect you from getting burnt by the sun's UV rays. Times, melanin isn't evenly spread throughout your body, so people can get freckles, where there's lots of melanin in one spot, but not a lot in another spot. Deep down in your skin, you have a layer of fat and the roots to hair. Not all parts of the skin have got hair. The palms of your hands, the soles of your feet, and your lips don't have any hair at all. Have a look at your arms. Do you have hair there? Skin helps you keep warm or get cool. Have you ever noticed when you've gotten cold you've had goosebumps? Or when you've been running around and you've gotten hot, you've gotten red and sweaty? That's your skin keeping you warm or cooling you down. Our skin also protects us from viruses and bacteria from the outside. It does a really good job of repairing itself, But sometimes we need to protect it by washing it and applying band-aids or ointments to stop the bacteria and viruses getting inside.
Let's experiment!
Because the sun reacts with our skin, we're going to do some experiments in the sun. The first one's using beads that react when they're in the sun. Look at them go pink. The next reaction is to use special paper that changes colour in the sun. So we need to start off inside. We put the paper down on a board and we place some objects on top of it. So one piece is a puzzle piece and the other is a feather. We then put the glass or some hard plastic over the top and we take it out into the sun. Now outside we've got some water so that we can stop the reaction. We open up the folder and we let the sun or the UV rays hit the paper. Now it's in fast forward. See the paper changing colour? That took about 2 minutes. We're now removing the objects and we're placing it in the water to stop the reaction. The water washes away the chemicals that haven't been reacted with the sun. Now we just need to let it dry. And we'll fast forward this again. Where the puzzle piece and the feather were, the sun wasn't able to get to. So the chemical wasn't able to react. So that chemical washed away. So just like our skin goes brown in the sun, the paper goes blue in the sun. Let's test some sunscreen with the same paper. I'm using a CD case and I'm popping the paper into the CD case. You could easily use a picture frame or the glass again like we did before. I'm going to cover half of the CD case and spray it with some sunscreen. You could use liquid sunscreen, doesn't really matter. I just had spray sunscreen here at home. So you can see one side of our CD case is well covered in sunscreen. Now outside again, we'll react the paper with the sunlight and we'll fast forward the reaction. So over 3 minutes, the side with no sunscreen turned lighter or white. And like we did before, we've removed the paper and we've washed it in the water so that the unreacted chemical goes into the water. And as before, we'll allow the paper to dry. As it dries, you can see the side that had the sunscreen is a whiter colour. Not as much UV got through to react. And if we compare the dry ones later, you can see the sunscreen stopped the UV reacting with the paper. the same way it stops it reacting with your skin.
Fun fact!
Did you know you lose 4 kilograms of skin cells every day? That's the same as 2 big bags of flour. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson of Kindy Science. Some of those experiments you can do at home really easily. I'll put the information for them in the description of the video. So, you've worked really hard. Your brain must be starting to get a little bit tired with all the information about the human body. So, give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a pretend sticker, and I'll see you next week. Bye.